What is going on, YouTube? Welcome back to another video, and today Inflexion Games has given us the privilege of being able to get a sneak peek into Nightingale, one of the most highly anticipated games of 2024. I know many of us are excited for it. For those of you who don't know, Nightingale is a survival co-op game that is going to feature building, traversing realms, and exploring these vast, beautiful worlds that Inflexion has put together. We got to jump in for about 2 days and experience a little bit of the game and the early aspects of the game, I guess would be the best way to say it. So that's what we're going to show for you today, show you a little bit of what we experienced, get you guys excited for the 20th when Nightingale is set to release. So without any further ado, let's jump right into the video. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Nightingale. Here we have a game that I've been very much so looking forward to. It is set to release on the 20th, which is just around the corner now, and Inflexion Games has given us the privilege of being able to jump in and show you guys a little bit of what to expect in Nightingale. So as you can see, coming right out the gate, obviously this is some footage that I've recorded throughout my 2 days of playing, and we're going to give you just a little bit of a sneak peek of what you could look forward to. You get to see some of the building right now, and just kind of how expansive it is. This is the very beginning crafting that you're able to do. You unlock more, as we'll see in the video a little bit further along, more patterns that just get more and more and more elaborate, and the builds that I've seen from some other creators and some people who've had some earlier access than us was just absolutely insane what you can see. Now this is a 6-player co-op experience. If you want to play with 6 of your friends, you can do so. You can invite them to come to your state. They can invite you to go to your or to theirs, and you can help each other out, accomplish missions, and take on the Fey realms as you explore and try to make your way back to Nightingale. Absolutely amazing voice acting as well. You saw Puck in the very beginning here as soon as we kicked off the video. That is one of our Fey friends that you meet very early on and helps guide you into becoming a realm walker, and his voice acting is just it's amazing. They did a fantastic job with Inflexion Games, this being their first AAA title. It's absolutely amazing to see what the team is doing, and I'm very excited for the future of Inflexion Games. Now, by no means is this them telling me to say these things. This is just truly my belief. I do, you know, I really enjoyed my 2 days. I was very grateful that they gave me the opportunity to do so as a content creator and provide this video for you guys, and hopefully you guys enjoy what you see today. So what you're seeing right now, we're going through some of the crafting. There is a food system and a sleep system, a tired system. You can see on the bottom right of the screen, just over there beside the orange bubble, that is your fatigue, right? If you get too tired, your stamina will drain completely. You won't be able to chop down trees or really do much of anything. So you need to keep an eye on your sleep. You do need to manage your sleep, as well as the left gauge right beside the health. The red bubble there is that is your hunger, and you got to keep your hunger up, otherwise you'll start slowly dying. There are elemental effects, there is different weathers, there is hot and cold sequences, there's hail, there's all kinds of crazy stuff that will also cause you to take damage. Now you have different ways to mitigate that, and we'll see some of that throughout the video. Like I said, the building is absolutely amazing. Here I spent a little bit of a time. I wanted to do something fancier for the roof, but they only really give you a crude flat roof to begin with, and I was hoping I was misreading that, so I was like, all right, we'll like stick it here. Didn't really like how that was looking, so I ended up taking it down and just keeping it with like a little porch to build our crafting area. And I wanted to keep this in the video just to show you guys how you can deconstruct excuse me, sorry, I got something in my throat here. How you can deconstruct the constructions that you're doing. And what you're seeing here, the amount of resources that it was requesting, that was for the entire build, right? And this is my little workshop once it's completed. Give you a quick little sneak peek of it, the different workbenches and everything like that, and once everything is put together. But like I was saying, once you set out the blueprint, once everything's laid out in blue, then it'll give you a number. That number is to complete all the pieces put together. So you can lay out your full blueprint. You can set up the entire house, if you will, if you can reach all the areas and everything like that, and then go collect all the resources and bring it back to be able to build your house. Now the hail I was talking about, you're seeing a little bit of it right now. If you notice, my health slowly ticking down because of the hail. Currently we don't have an umbrella, but either you can take shelter in a building or anything like that, or once you build and craft your umbrella, you can craft that and take shelter from the hail and some of the weather effects as well. So right now you can see that I have a red hail effect and I have the red wet effect. So as soon as we go under here, we're going to lose the hail, but we are still damp until that wet timer goes down. I speed up a little bit here just to show you guys a little bit. There's a very long chat that we have with Wilhelmina Salas here. And they do talk about companions as well. So this girl to our left that's peeking in the frame is one of the companions that you can do a short quest for and then hire to help yourself out. You could have them gather for you depending on what weapon you have equipped. So right now she's got a pickaxe, so she would be mining for us. We could give her an axe, we could give her a sickle, and she will gather whatever resources her primary weapon is. She can only have one weapon, but she can do that. She also acts as a bit of a pack mule. So when I was mentioning that you could lay out your whole blueprint, go and gather all the resources and come back and build your house, you can stack tons and tons and tons of pounds of weight of wood and stone and whatever else on your companions, as they don't seem to suffer from the same weight restrictions that you do. So you can see they do have a limited inventory and how much space they can carry, but there's no weight statistic anywhere for her. So I had them carrying, you know, hundreds of wood, hundreds of stone, and it really helps out. And they follow you around and help you gather as well at the same time. They're not going to gather massive amounts of stuff for you, so if you expect them to do all the work for you, you're going to be waiting quite some time. But this here is the essence trader. This is how you unlock all your new patterns, your different building patterns, your weapons, your armor. Everything is going to go through the different essence traders. Now, one essence trader is not going to have every pattern in the game. You're going to have to seek them out in different realms, in different areas, and all that kind of good stuff. They're scattered around the world. They're scattered around the different realms. Certain cards will give you access to higher level essence traders. Otherwise, if you see an essence trader, go to it and gather up the resources to be able to unlock the patterns, as that, in my gaming experience, was the only way that we could advance and progress our gear, our building expertise, and everything like that. So you see right there, I unlocked the simple umbrella. I highly recommend that. It allows you to glide. It allows you to protect yourself from some of the weather effects. It is just a very, very handy piece of kit to have early on. The next thing I will say, this is not your traditional MMO in the sense of there's no leveling system. So anybody who's played Ark, who's played Conan or anything like that, right? There's no levels and skills. In this game, it's all based off of your gear score, right? So you craft your gear, and then you upgrade your gear to be able to upgrade your gear score. So you'll start at, like, you know, I think we started like 10, and then we can craft gear up to 20, and then we enhance it up to 40, and you keep moving up your gear score, which will unlock these different dungeons, which we are in right now. This is the very first dungeon. This is the antiquarian. I'm gonna go with. Listen, words are hard sometimes, guys. It's early in the morning. I just woke up. I'm still having my coffee. But yeah, this is the antiquarian dungeon. This is one of the first dungeons you'll do. And I use dungeon really loosely, but it is locked behind a gear score gate. That orange gate you saw us go through at the beginning is like what bars you from entering. So you have to reach a certain gear score before you can enter. And then you can start going through this dungeon. So through this dungeon, there'll be different chests like we're looking through right now. There's going to be different enemies that we're going to have to fight. And we got to work our way to the bottom of it, where there will be an altar, which is going to have the card and a little boss fight for us to experience and be able to progress to like our next realm, to be able to continue the story, to be able to continue the game. All the dungeons like this for your different cards seem to be in your abeyance realm. This is where your estate will be, and where you can fast travel to at any time, no matter what realm you go to, no matter how many jumps you go to. You can always come back to your abeyance realm, and I hope I'm saying that properly, but I'm pretty sure I'm right on that. And that's basically the first realm you will unlock after your tutorial, right? You'll come into an abeyance realm, and this will be where all these dungeons are located. You'll see on the right hand side we have the antiquarian major card, the herbarium site of power, all the sites of power, the different cards, all the different things you can unlock in that sense seem to be in your abeyance realm, the very first realm after the tutorial. You'll be able to choose between like forest, desert, or swamp. Right now, at least, obviously this is an early access build that we're playing. This isn't the full release that you guys will experience on the 20th. So some of the things you do see in this video may be a little bit off compared to what you're experiencing when the game comes out, but it should be similar or very close to. But this is how it ran for us. So everything was in our abeyance realm. So, you know, we'll progress to the next area, and then we'll have to come back to the abeyance realm to be able to progress to the third area, so on and so forth. They're unlocked behind different level gaps. And like I said, level gaps isn't the word, it is gear score gaps. And but you'll have to progress through multiple different realms, travel, explore to be able to get the resources to upgrade your gear to come back to be able to do the next dungeon, to progress further into and get more resources and all that kind of stuff to progress the story. So that's kind of the sequence of events, right? You're going to build a base, you're going to do some dungeons, you're going to craft some gear. Your base is basically, unlike Ark where we use it for like breeding and all that kind of stuff for animals, for here it is a crafting hub. It is where we progress our gear, progress our weapons, progress our tools. So we're going to constantly be coming back to our base and using it to be able to progress ourselves into the next area. Not to mention we're gonna have to come back to that realm to be able to progress our cards, to be able to travel into new realms and eventually try to make our way back to Nightingale, which it seems to be the end goal of the game. You're gonna see here very shortly, I think just around this corner or very soon, there's going to be some much more difficult enemies to fight. And you're going to see me start using a little bit more blocking, a little bit more dodging, and start being a little bit more patient. Up until this point coming up, I'm kind of just hack and slashing it, not really using much skill or tactics. I promise you the combat gets much tougher as you progress through the different realms. And your abilities to dodge or block or whatever else are all dependent on the weapon or the tool that you are using. So currently we are using our axe. Our axe gives us, on the right click, you can see at the bottom right there, gives us the ability to block, right? And once we're blocking, if you're holding right click to block, if you then left click, you'll be able to actually shove enemies and potentially knock them down depending on the enemy. You know, if you have the strength type capacity to be able to push them to the ground. If you're wielding, let's say, the skinning knife or the dagger, you will be able to dodge, perform, like, you're more agile, you're able to make these big kind of leaps and dodge in whatever direction you want to go to. I believe the mining pick also gives you a block, and then the sickle will also give you a dodge like the skinning knife. Those are really the only four. Really, I only use the three. I only use the axe, the mining pick, and the skinning knife were the four main weapons I used. And then later on, I end up unlocking a maul that I used quite often. It was slower, but it was really hard hitting, and I really enjoyed it. So this is the fight where I said, okay, there's a little bit more going on. Let's pay attention. This guy right here with that long sword is he does some damage to us, so we start respecting it a little bit more, and you'll see us start blocking. There we go. And just being a little bit more cautious, waiting for our stamina to come up, because everything is stamina based. Your block is stamina based, your swings are stamina based, your movement and ability to escape is all stamina based. So you really got to manage that in bigger fights, and make sure you don't get yourself stuck, you know, just screaming for stamina and then die because you can't block or be effective in combat. So take the time, take it slow, use those blocks, use the dodges, whatever weapon sets you end up using. There are bows, there are guns, there are all kinds of stuff you get to unlock later in the game, and makes combat very interesting. I do know in the open stress tests that they had just before we got access to this, they started us with like muskets and pistols and all that kind of stuff. And again, the musket, any two-handers it seems like you're able to block with, any one-handers you're able to do like dodges and so on and so forth. Every weapon has their own kind of secondary ability that you can work with. And again, so far to date, there's no skills to enhance those weapons. What there are like enchantments that you could then craft these weapons with that could give you magical abilities and different effectiveness, increased movement speed, increased strength, so on and so forth. And yeah, that's kind of combat in a nutshell. It's basic and advanced all at the same time. Having the ability to dodge and block and then manage that stamina all at the same time had it feeling very interactive. You weren't bored in combat because you were always trying to balance that stamina. Here is the first boss fight. Like I said, you make your way to the bottom of the dungeon. You have to fight a boss and unlock the card. So this fabled automaton knight is the first boss of that you'll basically come across in Nightingale. And you'll see at first I was doing I had the axe, right? And the axe wasn't doing that much damage, wasn't that effective. I switched to the pickaxe, and as soon as I did, I started taking chunks out of that health bar. So if you find yourself, you know, your favorite weapon's ineffective, try switching it up, try switching to some of the different weapons, and you'll see some of the different enemies you'll come across definitely you'll have different weapons that'll be more effective against them. Now I think this is the first game I ever played where like my mining axe, my axe, you know, my tools are also my weapons at the same time early on. I know like we've all done it in Ark and stuff like that. We have our, you know, axe in our hand and we're out there trying to slice up dinos with it, or dodos or whatnot. But this game seems to kind of make a point of it, at least for the early game. Basically the only tools or the only weapons you can have and craft are the tools you use to like cut down trees and mine and all that kind of stuff. So it's kind of cool how they did that. It's definitely different and unique, but and there you go, you see we achieved our antiquarian card, right? This is one of the random dungeons that you can come across. So on top of the storyline dungeons, yes, big scary spiders. If you have an arachnophobia, or if you have arachnophobia, there we go, you might want to look away for a little bit, because big scary spider cave. But there are also just random dungeons that I would come across that weren't linked to any quest, any story, anything like that, but seemed to be rich in resources, and had some interesting, you know, critters that you would come across, some interesting monsters that you'd come across. And here again, I was trying with my axe. My axe wasn't effective, but as soon as I brought out my knife, you're gonna get to see a little bit of the different combat styles now coming into play with the different weapons. So pulled out my knife and it was super effective against the spiders. So play with the weapons. If you see one isn't as effective as it is normally, switch it up to a different tool or a different weapon, and you'll find something that eventually will start hitting those yellow numbers and being much more effective. So we come through here. I did get jump scared here a little bit. I'm kind of sad that I took my original audio out of this, because I definitely panicked very shortly here in a moment. Where I came around a corner and well, you're about to see I think right about here. So we come around the corner, we got these two spiders, right? No big deal, spiders are fine for me. I kill the spiders, skin them up, no big deal. But then we come across something we were not expecting, and with my experience from other survival games, with this specific type of creature, they tend to be on the stronger side of things early game, and I panicked, but we ended up handling it ourselves and we took care of business. But it was a little bit of a jump scare. It was a funny moment where I, like, when I was watching it back, going through the edits, it was pretty funny. So here we are getting some new resources that we had never got before, so I'm kind of just looking at it. Chitin we had not seen yet. I had nothing that I could craft with it. We also have a level 100 resource right there. But then I see this bear and I'm like, oh god, okay, new world bear, PTSD kicking in and everything else. Any other survival game, MMO, you know, bears generally tend to do a lot of damage. At first I think about just running, and I'm like, you know what, we're just gonna do it. And we switch to our axe and we start taking care of business. And you can see when we're hitting the spider with the axe, we're getting those red numbers, and then when we're attacking the bear, we're getting those nice white numbers, and every once in a while you'll get that yellow crit. There we go, we block his attack. We poise ourselves and get ready to finish him off here, which we just start laying into him and shortly make a quick work of him. There you go, there was that headshot with the yellow crit. We go and take care of the spider before skinning so we don't get ambushed. And you can see the whole time our companion's here and she's trying to fight with us. She's not, in my experience, the companions really aren't that effective in the combat, if I'm being completely honest. They're not bad, but they're not, you know, they're not super effective. But there we go. That wraps up that cave. And that is where we are at. So that's Nightingale. That's Nightingale in a nutshell. That's, you know, kind of what you could come to expect. Now you go, you craft your cards, you go to a portal, you teleport to the next area, rinse and repeat, do it all over again. And there we are, YouTube. And that is going to wrap up our Nightingale sneak peek for you guys. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Again, huge shout out to Inflexion Games for giving us the opportunity to provide this content for you guys and get a little bit of sneak peek into the world of Nightingale. Hopefully you're as excited as I am. If you made it to the end of the video, you guys are here. Please make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and jump into the comments and let me know what you guys are thinking about Nightingale. Are you going to jump into it on the 20th? Do you hate it? Do you love it? Anything goes. Jump into the comments. We'd love to hear from you. And until next one, stay safe, stay healthy, and take care of one another. Bye-bye.